Right, so what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel on this week's video. Today, as promised, I'm going to take you through my full day of eating, my first proper food push of my first proper off season. Starting off, we've got meal one. As you saw, mince, eggs. So mince for my protein source, low fat, 5% mince. Eggs for my fat source, also got some protein in there as well, but the whole eggs for the fat source. And my carbohydrates come first from oats, which I'll show you in a second. Also from wholemeal bagel. So I'll leave the macros on the screen along with each meal as we go along. So here will be meal one's macros, so calories, protein, carbohydrates and fats. Cut my bagel in half. As you may saw, I seasoned my mince with the herbs, and I seasoned the mince and the eggs as well with peri-peri seasoning. Your meal one should be one of, if not your largest meal of the day. I train after 2 meals, so my first 2 meals are my 2 biggest. So I'm gonna quickly get this down me, because what I do is I drink my oats through a shake, which I'll show you in a second, but I'm gonna eat my food portion of the meal and then come back and whip up the oats in a sec, so I'll catch you then. Right, so I'm back to show you the second part of meal one, which as you can see, here is 100 grams of oats, powdered oats, using the My Protein instant oats. I mix the chocolate smooth with the vanilla flavors, because the chocolate smooth is nice, but it has a bit of a sharp aftertaste, so the vanilla kind of cancels that out and gives it a nice overall taste with the combination of the two. If you do want to shop My Protein, I'll leave a link in the description below. Use the link to help me, use the code that I'll put alongside the link, JamesHughesjdh at checkout, to support you. There are going to be some big New Year savings. This will be out on the 4th of January, I think. Today is New Year's Eve, so a couple of days from now. As you can see for the rest of the video, I forgot to film meal one. So I filmed the rest of this a few days ago, and I've just come back now on my rest day where I've got a bit more time in the morning to take you through meal one. And what I'm going to do is, I promise to show you an alternative to my meal 6 when your appetite is not as big. And as I am going out this evening, I'm going to take the alternative out with me, so it grants a perfect opportunity to do so. So yeah, I'm gonna get through these meals, and I'll catch you all back in time when I've got no trim for meal 2. Right, so we are back for meal 2. My rice has just popped, so that means it's time to get the chicken on. So we've got 220 grams of chicken, cooked weight, works out around 310 raw weight for how I cook it. Weigh out 310 grams of chicken breast. If I get that. My finger's stuck in the scissors. Oh, you know you're getting wham when your fingers get stuck in the scissors. 311, 310, perfect, bang on. Right. Few sprays of 1 calorie spray oil. Right, so I'm gonna put you in fast forward while I chop these up. Right, so it's all chopped up so that it cooks a bit quicker, and it definitely cooks. Right, so this is my pre-workout meal. I'm not training today, so it is just a meal. I've got chicken, 220 grams of chicken, cooked weight, 130 grams of raw weight rice, 100 grams of pineapple, and 16 grams of peanut butter. I'm using the Tesco tropical fruit salad. I'll bring you in. There we go. That's what I'm using. And that gives us a mixture of pineapple, guava and papaya. Banging. Right, so I'll catch you all when the chicken's done, and I'll show you everything put together. Right, and this is the finished result. We got the chicken and rice. I've got chicken seasoning, peri-peri seasoning. You can see a bit of rice on my thumb there. And peri-peri flake seasoning. And of course, a few turns of pink Himalayan salt. We've got the rice and the 16 grams of peanut butter. And as you can see here, the 100 grams of pineapple, papaya and guava. Right, so the macros will be on the screen for you here. Let me bring my finger into focus. Where am I? It'll be on the screen for you here, and I'll catch you all for meal 3. Right, so we are back for meal 3. Meal 3 is usually a post-workout shake. Obviously, it's just a shake because I'm not training today. A couple of days a week I have, which I have tomorrow after back day, so I'll show you that then. But for the other 5 days a week is 50 grams of carbs, 60 days from powder, and 25 grams of whey. And because the rest day I put my creatine in with that as well. Okay, so the calories for this will be on the screen for you here anyway. It's a light one, meal 3 of 6, just to help get some rapidly absorbing nutrients into the body post-workout before my next meal. That's that, and then 25 grams of My Protein's Impact whey protein alongside 5 grams of creatine. So I'm gonna do the creatine first. There you go. 1 scoop's around 5 grams, and it's exactly 5 grams, beautiful. Last but not least, okay, that's that. Got it filled up. I'm gonna quickly shake it and I'll catch you when I'm done. All right, it's shaken, bottoms up. I'll put that on fast speed 2 times 2 times 4, so you don't have to listen to me gulping. But yeah, that's meal 3. Meal 4 is coming up, my favourite meal of the day, so I'll catch you for that. Right, so we are back from the gym. A little jump forward in time. As I said, meal 3 on a couple of days a week. At the moment being Tuesday for arms, which I'm trying to bring up, and back, which is a massive body part. So for those 2 days, I have, instead of the 25 grams of whey and the 50 grams of carbs, I am having 25 grams whey and 150 grams of carbs. So either from the cyclic dextrin or 150 grams of carbs from cereal. It's a no-brainer really, isn't it? 150 grams of carbs from cereal. My current cereal situation is my favourite, Wheatos, which is looking a bit bare, so lucky I got another one. And what I chose as well is Shreddies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the two, and it's going to be 100 grams of each. 100 grams of Wheatos is 77 grams of carbs, and 100 grams of Shreddies has 70 grams of carbs, so 147 grams of the 150, and that is what I'm going for at the moment. Hope my hair's all right. I'd imagine I've got helmet head from wearing my headphones. Helmet head, headphone hair, sorry. Right, without further ado, I'm going to crouch down so you can see it all in the thing. I've got box 2 of Wheatos. And then gonna do 100 grams of Shreddies. I'll bring you in closer so you can actually see what it completely looks like and get myself back in shot. Okay, so that's 100. Bring you in, focus her up. So this is what we look like. 100 grams of Shreddies and 100 grams of Wheatos. The Wheatos are quite a bit more voluminous than the Shreddies. What we do for the whey, I use it as my liquid base. 25 grams of whey protein. Okay, so that's 25. Right, so we're going to turn it into a shake, and then we're going to get it on the cereal now. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle some of the Wheatos on the top. Mix them together. The macros for this meal will be on the screen for you here, and I will catch you in a bit. Right, so we are back for meal 4. As you can see, it was, let me put this on me. Yep, so as I said, meal 4, my favourite meal of the day, as I mentioned in the last meal. We got mince, rice, avocado. You saw the seasons I put on. Lastly, got the pink Himalayan salt, a couple of turns of that. Okay. 220 grams of cooked weight mince, 100 grams of raw weight jasmine rice, and 50 grams of avocado. The calories and the macros on the screen for you here. It's my favourite meal of the day, so I'm not going to waste too much time going over it. I'm going to get it down me and I'll catch you for meal 5. Apologies if my head is shining, I'm a bit sweaty as I just got back from doing my steps. I'm currently making meal 5, which is going to be 220 grams of cooked weight chicken, 120 grams of cream of rice, and 100 grams of pineapple again. What I do is I like to make the pineapple as the chicken is cooking and just eat it as it's cooking. To not only save time, but to get the food down as soon as possible, as I am still absolutely starving and I'm more than ready to get this food down me. That being said, back to tropical fruit salad, the pineapple, guava and papaya, and I'll crack open a fresh one of pineapple, just pineapple if I've run out here, which I might do in actuality. Sorry to cut you out, but I'm doing this quickly so I don't burn the chicken. Right, so here we have it. It's mostly pineapple there, because what they do is tend to put all the colourful stuff at the top and leave just the pineapple at the bottom. which I don't mind, 'cause I like the pineapple. Right, I'm gonna whip this up and I'll catch you all when it's done. Right, apologies, it got a bit blurry because it got proper steamy in the kitchen. I had both the doors closed to cancel out all the noise from outside and obviously not to disturb everyone inside. But giving it a wipe on the back. Season is the same as usual. Also same as meal 2. Some chicken seasoning. Now I've got some peri peri seasoning, and I've got the peri peri flakes. The flakes just add that extra bit of spice that the powdered peri peri doesn't have. The powdered peri peri has more of a flavour, and then the Schwartz peri peri adds a bit more of the spice to it. And as with all my other meals, 4 or 5 turns of pink Himalayan salt for that electrolyte balance. Right, I'm going to sit down to eat this just so it's more comfortable and digest better, and I'll catch you when it's time for the cream of rice. So at the moment I've got peanut butter cup flavour. It's okay, it's not my favourite. I just finished the chocolate hazelnut flavour, which is probably my favourite. If not, rich chocolate brownie is my favourite, but chocolate hazelnut is first, if not a close second. Prior to filming this, I've just re-upped on some new flavours, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. I've got another rich chocolate brownie, just because it's my go-to. Although the hazelnut might be more my favourite, it wasn't in stock, but rich chocolate brownie is my go-to that I can count on if I don't like the other flavours. It's just one that will never let me down. I've got a maple syrup flavour one, which I'm really excited to try, and chocolate and salted caramel, which is also banging. The reason I can do this is because I'm programmed 120 grams of cream of rice in this meal and more in my next meal, which I'll go through when that time comes for my final meal. But 120 grams now, so it burns through quickly. I mean, I can try and experiment new flavours, which is, it brings excitement to the food, which is about 90% of my day. Be centered around eating, cooking or cleaning up and getting ready for the next meal. Right. So that is 120 grams. Alongside this, I have peanut butter, another 16 grams of peanut butter in this meal, similar to my pre-workout, just to give that sustenance, as I mentioned before, the added fat, so that I don't burn through the carbohydrates too quickly, don't burn through the food too quickly and end up being hungry before it's time to eat again. So I'm gonna whip some water in this and I'll catch you all when it's made. As you can see, it's like a cake. It's not, let me get a bit out for you. It's not very liquidy or sludgy like a couple of people have their cream of rice. I prefer mine like a cake, it feels like a treat. Chicken, fruit and cake. What a beautiful way to explain a meal of chicken, cream of rice and some pineapple. But that's it, I'm gonna get it down me and I will catch you all for the last meal of the day. Right, so we are back for our 6th and final meal of the day. It is very similar to meal 5, just with a little less carbs and a bit more fat. Okay, so I'm given the choice. I either have 200 grams of cooked weight meat, which I'm gonna have through chicken in this meal, or 50 grams of whey, along with 65 grams of cream of rice. So just over half of what I had in the previous meal. A wholemeal bagel, something with a bit more sustenance than the cream of rice, which is rapidly absorbing, and 30 grams of peanut butter, just under double what was in the previous meal. Obviously the reason for the lower carbs and the higher fats is it's my last meal of the day, pre-bed meal. Obviously do not need the carbohydrates to fuel my body for the rest of the day, as I'm not going to be doing anything, I'm just resting, recovering. So the carbs are lower than the previous meals where my activity will be higher and I'm wanting to use my body more. My energy expenditure is higher. Therefore, the fats will be increased so that I do not burn through these calories before I want to and end up waking up in the middle of the night hungry, or not being able to sleep because I'm hungry. That is the worst feeling, going to bed too hungry and not being able to sleep. So, without further ado, what I like to do is, when I've got more time, like today on a rest day, I will have the real food, which I prefer. I prefer to have this than the whey, obviously because I've got more time to make it, more time between eating and going to bed. Whereas if I had a full training day and I was pushed a bit for time, come into light a bit, and I pushed a bit for time, I'd have the whey. It's faster absorbing, of course, and therefore the window between food and sleep will not need to be as long as it would is now with real food. So, alongside, obviously, I mentioned I have a wholemeal bagel. I have one also in meal 1, as you would have seen at the beginning of the video. In meal 1, I have the eggs and the mince on the bagel and eat it that way. Whereas in this meal, I'm gonna do it half and half. whereby I have one half of the bagel with the chicken, so it's like a chicken sandwich, and the other half of the bagel will be with the cream of rice and the peanut butter, and use it kind of to like dip it in. So this is why I mentioned before that I have my cream of rice a bit less dry on this one, a bit less like a cake. Have it a bit more sludgy, just so I can dip the bagel in and like scoop out and eat it that way. It tastes amazing. It reminded me of a childhood meal, and I just remember what that was yesterday, and that was nutella on toast. I used to have that sometimes and absolutely loved it, and having the wholemeal bagel dipped into the brownie flavoured cream of rice, it kind of reminded me of that. I'm going to let this finish being whipped up, and then I will catch you when it's ready. Like I said, half the bagel now, half the bagel with the cream of rice. Seasoning hasn't changed, remember to season your meat. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you've seen this bit before, so I'm not going to go over it again. I leave the total calories for this meal on the screen here, and now the total calories for the day here. This is on my regular day, not when I have the extra carbs on the extra carbs. This is the macros. Just the extra 100 grams of carbs, so that's an extra 400 calories for 4 calories to a gram of carbs. Right, excuse the post-food bloat, but I'm just making a meal because I'm about to head out for obviously New Year's Eve. So as promised, I'm going to take you through my meal 6 shake alternative to the food that you saw in the previous bit of the video. So starting off, we've got the cream of rice. So yeah, like I said, we've got the cream of rice, 65 grams. Of course, we're going to make it come out thinner because it's going to be as a shake. Put the water in first. I put the water in first just solely because it was still a little bit wet from where it's been washed. I've gone a bit overboard with the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the whey in now. I'm going to leave the mic on there so you can see it. Either 200 grams of cooked whey meat or 50 grams of whey. So we're going to do the 50 grams of whey here. We're going to mix it thin just because we don't want it to be clunky for when it goes into the shake, otherwise we'll get bits in the shake. Okay, so that is that. Right, so it's out of the microwave, and we've got to put it into the blender. And what I also have, as you would have seen before, is the 30 grams of peanut butter. As I've chucked away my spoon. So when you're doing this, make sure you put the lid on. And I'll catch you when it's blended. Right, so we have it blended. I'm gonna pour it in. Okay, so that is that. Also, of course, I'm going to take the bagels with me. I just keep them in the packet and eat one of the bagels. When the time comes, leave it in my car, quickly nip out the pub and knock it down, and that'll be my last meal of the day. The calories for this meal it will be here. You can compare it to the alternative that I used prior to this in the video, and that is going to end the video for this week. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've been growing like crazy over the last couple of weeks, and the videos have been doing extremely well. I still can't believe that one that hit 2,500 views at the time of recording this. Maybe by next week it might be as high as 3,000. We can only hope. I am so grateful for all the support you've been showing on the channel. It really lit a fire underneath me to push into next year and really give my all into the content side of things. Obviously always give 110% to the bodybuilding, don't miss meals, hit training 110%. Haven't been filming as much training footage recently. I will get back to that, but as we're approaching the off season, everything is becoming very training focused for me. Whereas when you're dieting, training begins to fall off a little bit, and you can take a little bit of extra time, set up the camera and everything, as the main part of it is calorie deficit to get yourself lean. Whereas now it's all training focused, and sometimes I just don't feel like getting the camera out, but I will make a conscious effort from now to do that a bit more often, get back to my regular ways, as well as giving 120% to the training. I will talk more about the shows and everything when I have that all more set in stone, so you can all think about making plans to come and watch me. Yeah, share this to a friend. Maybe try a few meals out. Leave a comment down below if you try any of the meals and what you think of them, how you like them. If you have any questions for me regarding any of this stuff, all my stuff's down below. My Instagram, contact me, DM me there. My email if you want to get in touch regarding online coaching and want me to help transform you into the best version of yourself for the new year. Until next week, I'm out. Bye for now.